Today is Wednesday, April 16th. We'll tell you why Trump officials will now have to testify under oath about one specific immigration case. Also, what President Biden had to say in his first major speech since leaving office. Plus, we're talking about a new government effort to lower drug prices and why CDC advisors are changing their tune on COVID-19 vaccines, and how it's gone for people trying out the viral airport theory trend and what travel experts suggest doing instead. Those stories and even more news coming up. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. A Maryland man's wrongful deportation is still at the center of a growing legal fight. Now, a federal judge says nothing has been done to get him back home, even though the Trump administration admits sending him to El Salvador was a mistake. So she ordered what she's calling an intense 2-week investigation into the Trump administration's refusal to take action. She told everyone in her courtroom yesterday to cancel all other appointments and cancel vacations since all hands need to be on deck for this. It means senior White House officials testifying under oath about how they've responded to court orders in this case. The judge pointed out that each day that passes is another day Kilmar Abrego Garcia spends improperly detained in a Salvadoran supermax prison. But now, many White House leaders say that's what he deserves. For the first time yesterday, the White House press secretary accused Abrego Garcia of being engaged in human trafficking. And in a court filing, the Justice Department said if Abrego Garcia does manage to return to the U.S., he'll just be detained and deported. To be clear, he has not been charged with a crime, even though when he was first detained, the Trump administration accused him of being in a violent gang. The judge in this case says any evidence of gang affiliation is flimsy. This case has come up in protests around the country now, and it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. The federal workforce is preparing for another round of mass firings. Government agencies face their latest deadline this week to present their downsizing plans to the White House. The most recent big round of cuts came in February, with tens of thousands of workers being pushed out. Since then, some agencies, like the Department of Health and Human Services, got a head start on this round of dismissals, too. In total, the department laid off about 10,000 employees in the last couple of weeks, in some cases axing entire departments and programs. Then there's the IRS. A new memo out this week outlined the agency's plans to cut between 60 to 70,000 employees. And that's on top of the 12,000 IRS workers who got pushed out already this year. The latest notices will start going out this week. The downsizing efforts are happening at the direction of Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, aka DOGE. But even with all of these cuts, it seems DOGE is not close to saving as much money as Musk originally promised. As we've mentioned before, Musk promised to cut $1 trillion from the next fiscal year's federal budget. For now, the DOGE website estimates its savings at $155 billion. Former President Biden returned to the spotlight for his first major speech since leaving the White House, and he did so to criticize his successor. As Biden put it, quote, "In fewer than 100 days, this administration has done so much damage and so much devastation, it's breathtaking that it could happen so fast." He was speaking specifically about Social Security, saying sweeping staffing cuts at the agency have left Americans worried about their benefits. To be clear, the actual benefits have not been cut. But since thousands of employees have left, the level of service is not the same. The agency has faced website outages, technical glitches, unanswered phone lines, attempts to access private data, and more. And more cuts could still be coming. President Trump has said he's doing everything in his power to protect Social Security, but not everyone agrees on what that means. So for now, the debate continues. This week has brought up more angry Americans confronting their elected officials. A few town halls have gotten especially heated. For example, as Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene answered questions in Georgia, 6 protesters were removed from the event for heckling. 3 of them were arrested, either for vulgar language or obstructing law enforcement. Also last night, Senator Chuck Grassley was heckled at a packed Iowa town hall that spilled out onto the sidewalk. People pressed him about President Trump's immigration crackdown, tariff policy, and potential government overreach. Grassley responded to say there's no president he agrees with 100%, but he believes Trump is acting in good faith. And those are just a couple of the many town hall events that have gone that way, with people mostly arguing over President Trump's policies or billionaire Elon Musk's cost-cutting efforts. Trump has accused the protesters of being paid troublemakers that Democrats have hired to disrupt Republicans' meetings. Democratic leaders say they don't need to pay anyone when the president's policies are so unpopular. Both the U.S. House and Senate are now on a 2-week recess, so more of these town halls are coming and more confrontations are expected. For the first time since Robert F. Kennedy Jr. took the helm at the nation's health department, the CDC's vaccine advisors got together for a public meeting. And some analysts say they could see signs of a less strict CDC under Kennedy's purview. For example, most advisors no longer think virtually all Americans need to get vaccinated against COVID-19 each year. Instead, they say the guidance should be based on people's individual risk of more severe disease. So the recommendation will likely be for health officials to urge seniors and people with compromised immune systems to get at least 2 doses each year, and that everyone else can get 1 if they really want that extra protection. So why the change? Well, in recent months, the group has seen new data on how prior infections impact immunity and more. That said, the final decision hasn't been made yet. A formal vote on the new guidance is expected this summer. And it matters, since their votes ultimately influence how doctors talk about the shots and how insurance companies are required to cover them. By the way, the advisors are coming back together today to vote on recommendations for other vaccines. Those cover RSV, meningitis, and the mosquito-borne disease chikungunya. More news is still coming up, but first, this episode is sponsored by Honeylove. Now that spring is here, it is not only time to spring clean your closet, but it's also that time of year where you may have some weddings or special events or travel coming up. And I'm here to tell the ladies listening, do yourself a favor and stock your closet with Honeylove. Whether it's finding that just right bra for every day or getting shapewear that makes you feel great in a dress, Honeylove has it all. There's a reason our executive producer chose Honeylove shapewear on her wedding day above all other brands she tried. And now I have the same in my closet too. Plus, you all know I'm all about their breathable, versatile leggings as well. My favorite leggings, hands down. Whether you're wearing Honeylove shapewear and bras or their leggings and loungewear, you'll love how they feel, function, and look. Treat yourself to the most comfortable and innovative bras, shapewear, and leggings on earth and save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/newsworthy. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off, honeylove.com/newsworthy. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in bras and more with Honeylove. Now, back to the news. The latest CDC report shows what health experts have been expecting, that autism rates are rising for American children. It says now 1 in 31 U.S. children, 8 years old or younger, have been diagnosed with autism. Back in 2000, that figure was 1 in 150. So it's a pretty dramatic rise. The CDC's report attributes it to better screening and early intervention. But in response to the report, the Federal Health Department said the increase cannot be solely attributed to diagnoses, and Health Secretary RFK Jr. called autism preventable. He also said the risks and costs of it are 1,000 times more threatening to our country than COVID-19, which the Autism Society took issue with, saying that kind of language perpetuates falsehoods, stigma, and stereotypes and places unnecessary blame on families. The secretary is planning a news conference this morning to talk more about the findings. One of President Trump's latest executive orders is meant to lower prescription drug prices. It tells the health department to reinstate a program that offers insulin discounts through federally qualified health centers. It also tells the FDA to streamline approval of generic and biosimilar drugs. And Trump told his health department to work with Congress to revamp the Biden-era law that lets Medicare negotiate prices. The lower Medicare prices negotiated last year won't take effect until next year, and the prices from the new round of negotiations won't be available until 2027. One more thing, if President Trump applies tariffs to imported pharmaceuticals, as expected, some medicines could end up costing more. So stay tuned. The biggest airline in the U.S. is starting to cut back on flights. United Airlines decided to trim 4% of its domestic flight schedule starting this summer. It cited weaker demand among coach travelers in the face of economic uncertainty, something United's competitors, American and Delta, have also noticed. At the same time, demand is actually growing for luxury travel. Both United and Delta have pointed out how bookings in its premium cabins and on international flights have actually gone up. So at this point, airlines' earnings are still actually surpassing expectations. Have you heard about the airport theory? It's a TikTok trend that's gone viral with hundreds of millions of views. It says travelers only need to arrive at the airport 15 minutes before their flight leaves and will still make it on board without an issue and without hanging around in the terminal for hours. That's obviously not what airlines recommend. They say it's best to leave yourself 2 hours before domestic flights and 3 hours for international ones. Still, TikTok has still been flooded with videos of people testing the 15-minute theory out for themselves. Some found it actually worked, making it to their seats at times with just seconds to spare. Many others have missed their flights. The New York Post says over the last month, there has actually been a 645% increase in Google searches for "I missed my flight." And travel experts say that makes sense since the national average wait time for security alone is about 27 minutes. They suggest other time-saving hacks instead, like traveling at off-peak times, packing only in a carry-on, and checking TSA wait times in advance on the My TSA app. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Work Wednesday, when we break down one interesting career or work-related news story every Wednesday. But first, this episode is brought to you by ZocDoc. If you're taking time out of your busy schedule to see a doctor, you want that doctor to know what they're talking about and make you feel seen and heard. If that's not what you're getting, it might be time to find someone new. And thanks to ZocDoc, your search just got easier. Whether you want to find some relief from allergy season right now, or deal with a new issue, or just get a checkup, ZocDoc can help. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. ZocDoc has doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. My favorite thing about it is that you can filter for not only your location, but also your insurance. I find that really convenient. Plus, appointments made through ZocDoc happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/newsworthy to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. Okay, now back to Work Wednesday. Recent research shows the use of color in the workplace may actually affect people's moods, well-being, and even their productivity and performance. So as more companies call employees back to the office, some are taking color psychology more seriously, using color strategically throughout their workspaces. While it's pretty clear that color can have an impact on workers, it is less clear which colors do what exactly. A lot depends on the designer, the company's brand, and of course, the individual worker. Still, there are some interesting trends. The Wall Street Journal gives some examples like so-called color drenching, where a space is covered floor to ceiling in variations of the same hue. It's said to stimulate creative thinking, making it popular for team brainstorming spaces. Nature-based colors like blues, greens, and browns are associated with a sense of calm and well-being. Warm orange, said to promote social interaction. And black doors may signal exclusivity, like executives only beyond this point. One study found that people felt more relaxed in pale blue and pale yellow rooms based on lower heart rates, but those in vivid blue or vivid yellow environments scored higher on reading comprehension. So it seems neutral tones may be on their way out, and color is officially in, at least for now. Well, thank you so much for listening today and for all your support of this show. Just listening as part of your daily routine, telling your friends and family all about the Newsworthy, and or financially supporting us as a Newsworthy insider are all ways that you help us continue doing the work we do here. So thank you. And by the way, we recently updated our merch store, so it supports us even more if that's of interest. You can go to thenewsworthy.com/merch to check out designs for shirts, sweatshirts, totes, hats, mugs, and more. Again, that's thenewsworthy.com/merch. Thank you so much again. All right, we'll be back tomorrow to keep you in the know. Until then, have a great day.